You won't get out of chaos unless you reprogram the hidden center of your nervous system. It doesn't matter how many techniques you practice or how many affirmations you repeat it. Your body is vibrating in alarm. The universe is picking up on panic. You think you're manifesting with your mind, but your biology is actually blocking everything. While your intention asks for freedom, your nervous system is screaming for survival. And the most alarming part, it all happens in silence. The outside world is not against you. It's your inner field that's out of alignment. Shallow breathing, built up, tension, sleepless nights, confusion. These are codes. They're signs that something invisible within you is blocking the flow of the reality you want to experience, and that something has a name, a structure, a purpose, and it's working all the time. Even if you've never heard of it, you've already tried changing the world around you. Now it's time to access the one thing that can truly change everything. The frequency your body is emitting, because that's what the universe responds to. And the center of that frequency is closer than you think. There's an invisible center in your body that shapes what you feel, how you react, and even what you attract. It's not a chakra, it's not some mystical point from the East, nor a modern invention. It's an ancient biological code that acts as a bridge between the physical world and higher states of consciousness. This center is called the vagus nerve. Rarely mentioned outside medical circles, and almost never explored as it should be in spiritual practices. The vagus nerve is actually the hidden key to vibrational manifestation. It runs through your body, from your brain to your vital organs, connecting emotions, intuition, and decisions into a single frequency. And the most amazing part, when you consciously activate this nerve, everything around you begins to respond differently. Anxiety fades, focus returns, intuition lights up, your vibrational field comes into coherence, and what once seemed far away, peace, clarity, fulfillment, draws near, as if it had always been within reach. This is the moment when reality bends to your inner state. And this isn't just a spiritual metaphor. Thribe of the gods already taught that manifestation happens when mind and body vibrate in harmony with the whole. Hermes taught that the micro reflects the macro, and that the secret lies in aligning the inner world to govern the outer one. The vagus nerve is the hidden mechanism behind this law, a sacred code embedded in your physiology, waiting to be awakened. And when that happens, you don't just feel the difference, you become the difference. Your vibration becomes a command. Your body becomes a temple, and your life finally begins to respond to your frequency. Long before science gave a name to the vagus nerve, the ancients already understood its essential role in the rise of consciousness. They didn't describe it in clinical terms, but they recognized it as a sacred channel through which vital energy flows. In Egypt, Thoth taught that the body is a key, and that each sensation carries a frequency that either lifts or traps the soul. For him, the true initiate doesn't seek elevation outside themselves, but within their own flesh, where the divine quietly rests. This principle appears in the Emerald Tablets, when Hermes says, "You shall separate the earth from the fire, the subtle from the dense gently and with great skill." The subtle from the dense isn't just metaphorical, it's literal, separating the reactive mind from the conditioned body. So, the vibrational field can be purified and refined. In the East, this same wisdom took on different forms. The yogis spoke of the Sushumna, the central channel, through which Kundalini energy rises, passing through each chakra until it enlightens the being. This energetic path follows the spine, the same area where the vagus nerve operates silently. In alchemy, the body was seen as a living laboratory. Transmutation wasn't just about metals, but about emotions, impulses, and physical states that limit the spirit. To transmute meant raising the vibration of matter until it became receptive to the divine. And how was that done? Through presence, breath control, and mastering the mind through the body. All great masters knew there is no enlightenment without a descent into the inner temple, and that temple is not in the stars. It lies in the invisible pathways, connecting your breath to your heart to your mind, and your mind to the whole. When you awaken this connection, the veil lifts, and what once felt distant, mystical, or out of reach reveals itself as a part of you all along. It wasn't in the ancient mystery schools that medicine recognized the hidden power of the vagus nerve. It happened in laboratories through MRI machines and clinical protocols. Starting in the 1990s, neuroscientist Stephen Pors revolutionized our understanding of the nervous system with his polyvagal theory. He revealed that the vagus nerve doesn't just regulate your heartbeat or digestion, it determines whether your body feels safe or threatened, and that feeling changes everything. When the system senses danger, even without a real threat, it activates a survival mode that disrupts focus, creativity, empathy, and most of all, spiritual clarity. But when the vagus nerve is consciously stimulated, the brain shifts out of reactivity and into coherence. Perception expands. Decisions are no longer driven by fear. They're guided by presence. Clinical studies already use vagal stimulation to treat anxiety, depression, and even post-traumatic stress disorder, with consistent results. Patients report a sense of reconnection with themselves, deep states of peace, and real improvements in quality of life. What the ancients called the rise of vital energy, neuroscience today describes as autonomic regulation, two names for the same phenomenon, raising the body's vibration until it becomes receptive to the most subtle aspects of life, proven in clinics, activated in temples. The path is the same, and it's within your reach. To transform your reality through the body, you need to reconfigure your vibrational field from its source, and that source lies in the neurophysiological state your body silently sustains every single day. This is not just another manifestation technique. It's a vibrational protocol that activates the forgotten center of your frequency, the vagus nerve. Next, you'll access a framework for inner realignment divided into 5 steps. Step 1, vibrational diagnosis of the body. Before any transformation, you need to listen to the field you're operating in. Is your body vibrating in defense or in expansion? Notice your breathing throughout the day. Is it shallow, stuck in your chest, uneven? These are warning codes. Take conscious pauses to scan your internal state, not with judgment, but with presence. This kind of active listening already begins to activate the vagus nerve and reintroduce your body to the language of safety. Step 2, neuroquantum anchoring with the diaphragm. Deep rhythmic breathing that activates the diaphragm is one of the most effective ways to free the body from the alarm cycle. Inhaling deeply through the nose, expanding the abdomen, and exhaling more slowly than you inhale is a direct way of telling your nervous system that everything is okay. This anchoring changes the brain's neurochemical pattern and opens a new vibrational portal where manifestation becomes possible. Step 3, sound activation of the vagal center. The vagus nerve responds to frequencies. Deep, rhythmic, intentional sounds have the power to stimulate its natural vibration. Chanting mantras like the sound with extended tones and vibration through the throat and chest is an ancient practice that resonates directly with the vagal branches. Even in silence, simply humming for an extended time or gently singing can activate this region. Just 5 minutes a day of conscious sound. Vibration can completely shift your internal state. Frequency creates coherence, and coherence creates the ideal inner environment for co-creation. Step 4, sensory coherence ritual, at least once a day. Create a moment of full connection between your body, your senses, and your presence. It could be during a shower, a barefoot walk, a silent meal, or even a brief pause to place your hand over your heart. The key is to consciously engage your senses, touch, hearing, smell, in a ritual-like way. These small acts of body awareness help your system shift out of autopilot and recognize a new vibrational pattern. Attention. This state activates the archetype of the inner guardian, the one who cares for your field and protects your frequency. Step 5. Morning tuning with embodied intention. Right after waking up, your field is most vulnerable to vibrational influence. That's when you can reprogram your frequency before the noise of the outside world takes over. During the first few minutes of your day, connect breath, intention, and body into a single act. Sit with your spine upright, breathe deeply, and speak aloud in a calm and steady voice, an affirmation aligned with the reality you wish to experience. But go beyond thought. Feel that intention vibrating in your body. Visualize it taking shape within your field. The mind sends the command, but the body is what records the code. This practice activates the vibrational gateway of your day, sealing the frequency that will guide your actions and perceptions. By applying these 5 steps consistently, you're not just taking care of your well-being, you're rewriting your energetic signature, and with that, attracting experiences that finally match your highest vibrational truth. Because when the body vibrates in coherence, the universe listens with precision. Kalen was no stranger to the world of spirituality. He had already been on retreats, learned breathing techniques, heard gurus talk about frequency, vibration, and intention. But for some reason, none of it seemed to work for him. He woke up every day with his body on high alert, his mind racing, and a constant sense of being off balance. It felt like something was stuck but invisible. Until one day, while watching an obscure video about neuroscience and consciousness, he heard the term vagus nerve for the first time. The explanation was simple. This nerve acts like a vibrational switch between the body and consciousness. Kalen paused the video. He tuned into his body again, but this time with a different perspective. Shallow breath, tense, shoulders locked, jaw. It was as if the vagus nerve had fallen asleep, and with it, his entire ability to manifest anything real. That day, instead of chasing a new technique, he decided to apply just one slow, deep breathing, activating the diaphragm. Then he vocalized a low sound, feeling the vibration in his throat. Little by little, something began to open. It wasn't magic. It was physiology coming back into sync. In the days that followed, the anxiety began to ease. Small coincidences started to appear. People, ideas, opportunities. Nothing was forced. Everything just flowed. Kalen realized it wasn't his mind that was failing. It was his body, desperately asking for reconnection. Today, he no longer chases the universe. He vibrates with it from the place where everything begins. The vagus nerve. The greatest obstacle isn't the lack of technique. It's impatience. Most people want to feel a shift right away, almost as if the vagus nerve were a magic switch that turns on in seconds. But the body doesn't respond to rushed mental commands, responds to consistent coherence, and that's exactly where many give up. After 2 or 3 days of practice with no dramatic results, the mind goes back to seeking external stimulation, distraction, and information overload. Once again, the body is silenced. But here's the truth. The vagus nerve was shaped by years of survival, alertness, and tension. You're not going to reprogram it with impatience, you'll do it with presence. Transmutation begins in what seems too small to notice. 1 minute of deep breathing upon waking, a soft vocalization before sleep, a conscious pause between stimulus and response. These repeated acts are not weak. They are fractals of power. Each one sends a message to the body. We are safe. And when the body believes that the field shifts, the vibration rises, and reality begins to reorganize itself around this new coherence. You don't need more stimulation. You need vibrational consistency. When the body becomes quiet, the field responds. It's not the technique that manifests. It's the invisible coherence between what you feel, what you live, and what you vibrate. Activating the vagus nerve isn't a biological trick. It's a return to the exact point where spirit touches matter. In that space, intention becomes structure, word becomes form, presence becomes architecture. And it is there in the simple act of breathing with awareness that the world begins to bend to your frequency. There are no shortcuts to this, but there is no mystery either. The right vibration isn't something you create. What emerges when the body stops fighting against itself. It's in that state that the invisible begins to listen. As Hippocrates once taught, before you heal, someone ask them if they're willing to give up the things that made them sick. Let go of urgency. Let go of vibrational self-sabotage. Let go of the habit of ignoring your own signals. The body was never an obstacle to manifestation. It is the most faithful instrument of creation. Reality doesn't shift when it's wished for. It shifts when the vibration that precedes it is held quietly and consistently. And when that vibration rises from a body in a state of truth, the universe doesn't just hear, it responds. If this message resonated with how you feel, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Share this video with someone who still hasn't realized that the body also manifests. In the comments write, "My vibration begins in the silence of my vagus nerve." This phrase anchors the learning, activates your field, and echoes with everyone who's ready to vibrate in truth. Click the screen and access another piece of content created to realign your frequency, because those who master their vagus nerve don't react to reality, they reprogram it.